This hour, I'm going to ask for your help on getting a letter to Congress, your congressman, your senator, that I think is really important. We'll talk about that coming up. I also want to show you an amazing story. This comes from Carmel, New York. A woman who's just somebody who's never obviously stood up before in her school board meetings goes and stands up and has the hard goods. I want to play some of this. The whole thing is about 11 minutes, and I wish we had time to play the entirety of this, because I think it's important to show you how this woman is speaking up. She's really angry, so she at times is right up to the line, but she came with the goods. The other thing I want you to hear is they don't turn off the mics of the school board, so you can hear them talk about her in the background. Listen.
My name is Tatiana Ibrahim, and I'm here for the first time. I'm here tonight not only as a community member, but as a parent in this district. Recently, you sent out a survey wanting to know why parents were not voting yes for this budget. So my situation, my vote for no is a little different. I think the Board of Education and those sitting on the panels are thieves. I think they're liars and have committed treason against our children. My message to this district and the members of the Board of Ed: stop indoctrinating our children. Stop teaching our children to hate the police. Stop teaching our children that if they don't agree with the LGBT community, that they're homophobic. You have no idea each child's life. You don't know what their family lifestyle consists of. You don't know the makeup of their life. You have children like mine who is Muslim, and I'm Christian, and everyone would think, they would never believe that of her, right? Because the way she looks, or according to Miss Cyrus, she's too pasty white.
Ma'am, excuse me. I'm up here.
Did it just stop?
We're not allowed to use names. If you have something you'd like to discuss about a specific person, you can call the superintendent or leave your info for her to call you tomorrow.
Why are we not allowed to discuss names? Why am I not allowed when they purposely themselves expose themselves on social media, talking about calling for the death of a former president, or saying that any child that doesn't believe in Black Lives Matter should be canceled out? Is this what my tax dollars is paying for? You're teaching my children and other children that if they believe in God Almighty, they're part of a cult. These educators put their own names out there. We have Mr. Barry, who took it upon himself with Miss Cyrus to create a curriculum.
That should be it.
Do you want the proof? I have the proof. You created a curriculum of Black Panther indoctrination.
Ma'am.
You use taxpayers' dollars.
Can I ask you one more time? I have no issue hearing what you have to say, but
Why can we not let the public speak? Why can't we let the public know that you're teaching our children to go out and murder our police officers? Do you want the proof? I have the proof. Is that what scares you, the proof? That a parent actually standing up against all of you? Is that what scares you, to call out the names of these people? You work for me. I don't work for you. You have a duty. We are entrusting our children to you. We teach our children morals, values, when they grow up to commit crimes and end up in prison and kill a police officer. It's our fault? No, it's your fault. You're emotionally abusing our children and mentally abusing them. You're demoralizing them by teaching them communist values. This is still America, ma'am. And as long as I'm standing here on this good ground earth of God, I will fight. And this is not the last of me you will see.
Do you hear that? We
I'm
should
retired.
walk out.
I have nothing else better to do. We can do it peacefully, or we can take it to the highest courts, because you know and I know I'm not the only parent fighting this all across America right now. Schools are trying to poison our children's minds, teaching them about things that they have no right to be taught in school.
So normally, I'm just gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna just give you just a feedback for a moment. I have no problem having a peaceful discussion. This is not a peaceful discussion.
No, that's your opinion. See, here we go again. This is peaceful. To me, this is peaceful.
Well,
I'm not burning, looting, and murdering. This is peaceful.
I did not accuse you of that, but I don't have a problem having a conversation with you, a peaceful conversation, which is, this is not.
$6.95 per child in the middle school to buy a curriculum from readtome.org that wasn't even approved by the Board of Ed. The administrators took it upon themselves to buy these books with taxpayer dollars while COVID is going on. How many families are struggling to pay their mortgages? Listen, by all means, you want to teach kids these things, fine. Don't do it on my dollar. Don't infringe on my religious beliefs. Don't infringe. Do you know who makes up the majority of this district? Children from police officers' families. Blues. Back the blue children. Do you know what these children feel like when they come home? Have you spoken to them? No. You're silencing them. This whole cancel culture, you're silencing the children. Where are their rights? They have no rights. Because if they don't believe in the indoctrination, the demonic, twisted, sneaky, vile acts and education, if you call it that you're teaching our children, they don't agree with that. They're either homophobic, they're part of a cult, they're racist. What's racist? Who defines racist? Why? Because do you know what race I am? Do you? You don't. You don't even have an idea. I could be black.
Stop.
I could be white.
This woman is incredible. And one of the things that you might have heard, one of the guys was like, we should just walk out. The school board is not listening. They don't care. They think that if you disagree with them, you're a radical, that they don't need to hear your voice. You want to go on? Fine. We should walk out. If you think that is just an isolated isolated incident, you'd be wrong. 2 Boston public school officials have resigned over texts they sent to each other disparaging white people from their local neighborhood. Apparently, some parents stood up and said, this isn't right. And one of the school board members wrote and said, I'm just so sick of the Westie whites. Referring to the neighborhood of West Roxbury in Boston. It was a meeting where they were going to eliminate the high standards of the school district. And that way, I guess, you could get minorities in. Why? Because minorities can't compete? That's not true. That's just not true. It's racist to say that. So she said, wait until the white racists start yelling at us. Whatever. The other replied, they're all delusional. I hate West Roxbury. These people despise many of us, despise us. They'll tolerate You know, the only time that they objected, and later in that tape, you can find it on YouTube, later, 3 of the school board members, they object because she says, you work for me. I pay your salary. And immediately they go, wait, no, you don't pay our salary. This is a voluntary position, so you're not paying. But you notice they didn't say anything while she was making outlandish charges. Why? Because that's exactly what they were doing. Let me give you this. An English teacher has resigned from top New Jersey prep school that is using critical race theory to create a hostile culture of conformity and fear, causing white and male students to believe that they are oppressors. Her name is Dana Stengel Plow. She accused the Dwight Englewood School in Bergen County of forcing students and faculty to embrace a single set of beliefs, choking off free speech in the process. She said the school's ideology requires students to see themselves not as individuals but as representatives of a group, forcing them to adopt the status of privilege or victimhood. As a result, students arrive in my classroom accepting the theory as fact. People born with less melanin in their skin are oppressors. People born with more are the oppressed. Men are the oppressors. Women are the oppressed, and so on and so on. This is a hostile culture of conformity and fear. And she walked out. Now, let me give you another update. This is truly amazing. Nicole Solis, if you've been following what is happening in some of these schools, especially Loudoun County, Virginia, it's out of control, but it's happening everywhere. In South Kingston, Rhode Island, the public school board there has threatened to sue a mom. She was seeking the records of critical race and gender curriculum. So what she's asking for is if anyone has anything that is being taught to my children in this school, please send it to me. Now, why did she have to do that? Because the school is hostile. The school knows what they're doing, and they know parents are against it, and so they will not release any of that. So she goes on a Facebook it's actually a website, I think, Legal Insurrection. And she says, can anybody help me with this? Anyone help me with this? Well, now they're starting to sue her. Now, here's the interesting thing. The school district first just started to smear her, said that she was crazy. Let me see what else exactly they said. She was racist. She was identified at a public meeting as racist and part of a racist activist group called Parents Defending Education. The Parents Defending Education, as far as I can tell, that is completely and outrageously false. There is no evidence that PDE was behind her requests or that it's racist at all. So she was called a racist and part of a racist national organization, and it was all circulated through the mainstream local media, and none of the reporters pushed back. Now, it's really interesting to find out how that came about. So one of the people that were behind all of this spoke at a school committee public meeting, and she was temporarily leaving the school board. And she said, I didn't write that about this woman. I didn't. And I didn't accuse PDE of being racist. She said, once they got the complaint, they turned that complaint over to the public relations firm that was hired by the school committee at the recommendation of the committee's legal counsel. And so what they did is they sent out a flyer. They went to the local newspapers and they issued a statement that she was a racist. That's your PR firm? That she's a racist and belongs to a racist organization. What is the average person supposed to do? What is the average person supposed to do? I'll tell you what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to stand up for people like this. Silence in the face of evil is evil itself. Not to speak is to speak. Not to stand is to stand. We are going to so regret not standing, and it's only going to get harder from here. You got to get to your school boards. You got to get to your schools and your teachers. Get CRT, this poison, out of our schools, and anybody who's for it needs to either be fired or you need to run for their position on school board.